Hi guys, Alex here from Drayton's, who have got an Audi A7 Black Edition Quattro with a 3 litre bi-turbo diesel V6 and a Tiptronic gearbox, finished in glacier white metallic paint. All the wheels and tyres are in very good condition. These are 21-inch 5-arm rotor design alloys in matte titanium finish. At the back you get a nice large boot. It does have a hatchback tailgate, and that is electric as well. There is a decent amount of space in there as well, and the back seats will go down if you need any extra room. This car has got MOT until 25th of the 5th 2022 and was last serviced on the 3rd of the 3rd 2021. This car has a huge spec, as near as makes no difference, £14,000 worth. Starting with the quilted leather sports seats, the integrated headrest and the S-Line branding on those, all the way around, all 4 seats with that quilted leather. Very, very nice sporty feel as well. It's got these big side bolsters to keep you in when you're going at a pretty fast pace around corners. Up front, one of the major things it has on is the Tech Pack Advanced. So we have this sense display here. You've got your digital speedo and various other things on there as well. You also have an onboard computer, so you can see average speed, average MPG, fuel range, things like that. An efficiency program which goes into a bit more detail about your energy usage. You also have adaptive cruise control, so when you set a speed it will pop up on there. You saw it come red there. That will stay where you've put your cruise control. You also have lane assist, lane departure warning, collision warning as well, and you can turn that off entirely if you prefer not to have that distraction. I personally prefer the digital speedo, especially in a car that's got 316 horsepower like this one does. Just keep an eye on that speed. You've got your media tab here, so that'll be your radio or your music, depending which one you've got selected at the time. Have your Bluetooth for your phone there, so your contacts and your calls will come up so you can quickly give someone a call without going through the main menu. And then part of the tech pack is this built-in sat-nav. So normally it's just a compass with directions. Part of that is you do get the actual sat-nav screen in there, which is a really nice feature. On the screen you do get a larger screen with it having the tech pack, and it's high definition as well, so the clarity is a lot better. You get built-in sat-nav, colour sat-nav. It's a very easy system to use, nicely up to date as well. Just click on your destination, pop in your address, and then you're off, you're free to go. You also have Bluetooth, as I mentioned, for phone and for music as well. You do also get a CD player, which is always a nice touch, especially on modern cars. Not all of them have it, so it's quite nice to have that. One of the major upgrades is the adaptive air suspension. So as you can see in the top left corner, you've got raise, so you can raise the suspension or lower it. It's currently in its lowest setting. That will obviously affect your handling, your ride height obviously as well. You do have all these drive select options as well, so you've got efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic and individual. So comfort's best for around town. It slackens off the suspension, especially with this air suspension. It makes it a bit softer, so the ride quality is slightly better in terms of going over bumps and potholes, the things that we have on most British streets. The auto, the car will judge how you're driving and adapt to that environment. So if you're on the motorway, it'll change the things. If you're driving around town, it'll change it as well. Dynamic is your sporty setup. It's also good for the motorway as well. And then you've got your main one is your individual settings. So individual, you have all these options to choose from and edit and personalize however you like. Currently it's in basically performance mode apart from the steering. So your engine gearbox dynamic, so you've got a nice sharp throttle response and a good pickup from the engine. Air suspension dynamic, so it's slightly stiffer and lower to give you a better handling. Dynamic steering, so you do have dynamic steering, which means these extras on the steering rack, so you've got more variables to choose from in the steering rack. So that's in comfort, so the steering is nice and light rather than being heavy like it will be in dynamic, to get a real feel through the steering of the road and what's going on underneath you. Your differential, so this has got Quattro with sports differential. That's another option from new. So the sports differential is very similar to a limited slip differential. So when you're pulling out of a corner, usually the tyres will turn at different paces. So if you're doing some hard driving around corners, a lot of time you might get what's called a one tyre fire. So one tyre is moving a lot quicker than the other one, and burning up one tyre basically. So the sports differential or limited slip differential is very similar. Will keep the pace of both rear wheels moving at a very similar rate. So you've got more power out of the corner, and you're not just spinning on one wheel if you're cornering hard. Engine sound, very self-explanatory. Dynamic setting is basically a louder engine sound, so a sportier engine sound, a bit more raucous. And you've got your adaptive cruise control setting in there as well. You also have your car systems, so you've got change all your driver assist settings, such as your speed warning, parking aid, change volume, frequency, change what's on your heads up display as well, which I'll get to in a minute. Your Audi braking guard, so that's your collision warning. Side assist, that's your blind spot monitoring, which is just there. So you can change how bright the side monitors are. I'll just show you that now. So it's on its highest setting there, and then you can make it a bit darker. And then you have your active lane assist as well, so if it'll keep you in lane if you're drifting around. There's a lot of safety features on this as well, and you also have your servicing and checks on there as well, so that will remind you when you need a service. You also have an electronic oil level monitor as well, rather than a traditional dipstick. I prefer a dipstick, but the oil level monitor is really accurate as well. So that's your car settings, and then your navigation's done. Media, as I mentioned, CD and Bluetooth as well, and then you get DAB, FM, AM radio. You can change the tone of the music and sound, so you do have a full Bose surround sound in here. That's another optional extra, so the sound is absolutely incredible. It's really good, really clear, nice amount of bass, nice amount of treble. It's really well balanced as well, but obviously you can adapt. If you want more bass, and you can put more bass in, that's not a problem at all. You can do that through the tone settings. And moving down here, you've got your CD player, you have your start stop, you've got your front and rear parking sensors with the selective display. They will come on automatically when you put the car into reverse, or when you're going at very low speeds, but you can turn it on and off just by pressing that button there, as I've just done. And my favourite button in this car is that button there. So that raises the spoiler, so the spoiler's now raised without having a light on. Just gives it a sportier look as well. And then just hold it to get it back down, and you've got your stability control. You do get heated front seats, which is nice, being leather in winter they can be quite cold, and then full aircon system as well. So down here we have Tiptronic gearbox, so you've got standard drive mode and a sporty setup. So the sport setup optimises for performance rather than efficiency, so it will keep the power when it's changing gear in the best power band it can to shoot you out of those gear changes. Your standard drive mode is obviously what you'd use for around town. You also have touch MMI here, so you can put radio settings or contacts on there as well. Just quickly press that and it will jump to that contact to give them a call. You have an electronic parking brake and hill hold assist as well. And then these are all your controls for the main system there. So you've got all your shortcuts, your swivel wheel, which you control the system with, and then the 4 corner buttons, as you can see there. So that'd be the top left one, top right one. And down here, another part of the tech pack, you do have wireless charging pad as well, and 2 USB slots, aux cord, and a 12 volt socket there as well. Another nice feature is you do get a tilt and slide sunroof, so you've got a manual blind and then an electronic sunroof as well. A really nice feature, because the cabin is quite dark, with it having the tinted glass at the back, and the black piano black finish inside as well, but it just brings in that bit more light, and it's a really nice feature to have on a car like this. So these are your controls for the screen in front, and then you've got your special character, your voice commands, and your volume button. Your adaptive cruise control speed limiter is there, so you pull it forwards to turn it on, push it back to turn it off. And you also have flappy paddles if you prefer a manual style of driving. You do have that option as well. Another thing is the automatic lights, and this little dial here, you see the 0 just there, if I can get in focus. So that just changes the height of that, so it changes your viewpoint. So that's your heads-up display. So that's got your speedo on it as well, which is a really nice feature. You don't get a heads-up display in many cars. These seats are also electronic, so you've got your 2 various settings there. You can set it for 2 different drivers, and the mirrors will also change for the driver as well. So if you set your mirrors and you set number 2, for example, the mirrors and the seat will both go to that position. And you also get heated and electrically folding wing mirrors as well. As I said, this car has an absolutely huge spec, so I may have missed something. It does have the black styling pack as well, so it's all de-chromed around the edges, tinted windows as I mentioned, and you've got black accents on the front grille as well, rather than a chrome around the outside. You get a black on there as well. This car will come with 6 months gold cover warranty, which can be extended for as little as £249 for an extra 6 months. We also have a range of finance options available, so if finance is something you're looking for, then we can help you out with that as well. If you need any more information on this car or any of the other cars we have in stock, please go to draytons.co.uk. Thank you.